It's time to cite your sources. If you're doing a research project of any kind, you have to tell where your information and where your images came from. And I'm going to show you how to do that. First, information sources. Go to Citation Machine and click on MLA from the left-hand side. When you do that, you'll see lots of different choices of print and non-print sources. Here's what it looks like when you cite a book. Make sure if your book has more than one author, you choose that. Here's what you use for Encarta. That's a CD-ROM encyclopedia. Here's what you would use for a web page, and that includes Wikipedia. This is what you would use for a print encyclopedia. That's a book that is an encyclopedia. Here's what you would use for a magazine article. For any of these sources, it's important to remember that you fill in everything that you can fill in, but sometimes something does not exist, such as an author's name will not be cited, or maybe there is not an edition, but you fill in as many fields as you can. Okay, here you can see I've filled in the fields about my book source. After you fill in each of the fields, and notice I don't have an edition, so I didn't fill that in. After you fill in the fields above the line, you need to click on Submit. What that's going to do is it's going to return to you a section in gray on the return screen that is what you will copy and paste. So notice it's the part in gray and it says don't do this other part. I'm going to explain that in a minute. So I highlight the whole section in gray. Okay, you can see how I've highlighted it here. And I am going to do a copy and then I'm going to paste it into another place. So you can use Control-C or Edit Copy or whatever you need to use there. Now I've come over into Microsoft Word or whatever application you're working in, and I pasted it. But the way that it pastes in, you can see that it's going onto 2 lines. Anytime a citation goes onto a second line, you need to do what's called reverse indenting. So I went to the beginning of the second line, I hit Enter, and then I hit Tab, and it indented the second line. If it goes on to more than 2 lines, you do that at the beginning of every line so that it is reverse indented. Now you need to repeat this process for each of your sources, and you need to compile them into a works cited, whether that's a slide or a page of your report. Remember that within that works cited listing, you need to list each item alphabetically by the first letter of the item. So in this case it would be R for Rummel. Now if you include images or maps that you get from anywhere, here's how you cite them. First, go to Google. Before you do anything else though, you need to make sure that you change your settings. So you click on Preferences and change it to Use Strict Filtering. Then you can go to the Images section of Google. I did a search for the flag of Mexico, and then I clicked on one of the choices. Here's the one I want. Then I click on See Full-Size Image at the top, and it gives me this. The next thing that you need to do is use your mouse right-click button to right-click on the image. It's going to cause a little menu to pop up. At the bottom of that menu, you should see Properties. You need to click on Properties, which you see selected here, and then it will open up this small window called Element Properties. You'll need to resize this window and make it quite wide like I've done here. And the location, which is the first item listed under Image Properties, you want to highlight that, and then you can copy and paste it into whatever document you happen to be working in. This happens to be a Microsoft Word document, but the procedure is exactly the same whether you're using Publisher, PowerPoint, Excel, any application really. So there you have it. Your research project is finished and you have correctly cited the sources of your information and images. Please remember, it's plagiarism, which is a crime, and very dishonest if you don't give credit where credit is due. Thank you very much, and I hope that your project goes well.